No, I just feel myself. I'm starting to change, man. I'm a happier person, and I think I'm ready, man. I want to have a kid. I like toddlers, man. That's the best age. They're hilarious, you know? They never have a shirt on. They already got a beer belly, even though they never drank before. And they're not even self-conscious. They don't try to suck it in. They just let it hang out over the diaper. Got like cereal in their hair. They're a mess. They're a mess.
Yeah.
And we welcome him into our NHL Live studio. It's Bill Burr. So we're listening to you make fun of toddlers and moms. You don't even have a toddler.
I didn't make fun of toddlers. I was making fun of stay-at-home moms. No, I wasn't making fun. No, wait. Let me remember. I was making fun of Oprah, who said being a mother was the most difficult job on the planet. So all I did was list some other jobs that I felt were a little more difficult. That's all I did. I never said mothering wasn't an important job. All you maniacs who emailed me with the most difficult job, but you got time to search me and send me, reams of hate mail.
What is more difficult than being a mom?
What? We don't, I don't know, drilling for oil and it blows up, your back's on fire, you jump into some salt water, swim through the oil that's on the fire at the surface, and then you got to sit there and tread water, hope you don't get eaten by a shark before the Coast Guard gets there.
That sounds tough.
Would you rather do that or hang out with some kids? That's all I said. I'm not saying it's not an important job. I'm not saying it's not a hard job. I'm just saying it's not the most difficult job on the planet. That's all it was. Why can't anybody hear me on that one? They just can't hear what I'm saying.
I think you made a good case right there. I mean, I can't imagine oil all over me, trying to swim, sharks attacking me. I mean,
what about a job you just hate?
Yeah.
You got to sit in a cubicle looking at spreadsheets. Yeah, but you can hang out, make grilled cheese sandwiches, watch game shows, sleep when they sleep. And not to mention, you decided to have a kid. That's what kills me. It's not like all of a sudden, you got diagnosed with a kid. You had one. You had a damn kid. And then they start coming at me, the other day I said to my guy, oh, God, I got to fly across this country again. And he's like, dude, don't even start with me. I got 2 kids. And it's like, that was your choice. Yeah. I got to go to college. Don't even start with me. I flunked out in high school. It's like it's my fault.
I like diagnosed. You were diagnosed with a kid.
You weren't
so
diagnosed.
sorry.
You made a
choice.
Sorry. It's a very important job. God bless you for doing it. But, it's not the most difficult job.
How difficult is it to be a comedian?
The first 7 years are a little rough. Once you get funny and you get over humiliation, and once you're past humiliation, you're able to sustain it. I would say it would be like hockey. You get into playing shape. You take a couple hits, your body toughens up a little bit. It's the same thing with getting heckled, except it's not a physical thing. It's a mental thing. And it just, takes a little bit of your soul for a while.
What was the worst time that happened to you? Because I can imagine to be tough. You're up there and people are giving it to you. Do you remember one incident in particular where you're like, boy, this is really crazy?
I remember performing in Lee, Massachusetts.
Tough crowd there.
In a restaurant.
Tough crowd in Lee.
There was no crowd, really. But in the next room over, there was a bachelor party, and there was no door to the room that they were in. And I was just standing there in front of 3 people, and they just sort of gradually started gathering.
Nice.
And somebody threw a dinner roll at me at Randy Johnson level speed. Missed. But I was so, that was the thing, it didn't hit me, but I was so mad. And there was so many of them. I would have lost one-on-one anyways, but I was so mad, and there was nothing I could do, and I felt them just waiting me to say that one word, and I was going to get beat down. And I had to swallow my pride and walk out to my rusted-up car and drive away.
A Chevy Nova. And get out
it was an '83 Ford Ranger, and I remember I was screaming at them as I was driving away. And it was just me and my own thoughts, and the sound of my tire on the Mass Pike as I drove all the way.
What a happy story. It's the worst.
No, but you're tough. No, you know what you do immediately? There was no cell phones back then. That's how long I've been doing it. But once you get home, how you get through it is you call other comedians, and they just laugh and laugh as you're telling them, and then they start telling stories, and you feel good. Yeah, what you end up realizing is just all those horrific things just become funny stories to tell on these shows. It's just when you're going through it and you don't have any happy stories yet, they're a little rough.
Yeah.
So born and raised in Boston, how long have you been
a Suburbs of Boston. I always say that because...
Now, you corrected me twice on that already. Is that like a terrible thing to say?
No, because of Good Will Hunting. Ever since Good Will Hunting came out, usually people say away from, I just say Boston if I'm on the other side of the country, because I don't want to say, where I'm from, then they go, and where is that? Is that Vermont, So, but if you say Boston, then they immediately go, Southie, you're a genius with a mop. I wasn't. I lived in the safe suburbs, and I sucked at math.
We should mention you're performing at Caroline's all weekend, and we're actually, for the most creative email, We're going to give away 2 tickets to your show on Sunday. So we'll NHL Live at NHL.com. Most creative's got to be funny. Email.
Okay.
2 free tickets by the end of the time. But we'll have some fun talking about the Bruins. So what do you make of this Bruins team now? Tim Thomas gets a shutout last night. What kind of a Bruins fan are you? Are you fair weather? Are you there through thick and thin?
I have 2 periods. There through thick and thin, there through the 80s and right into the 90s. Right when I started doing stand-up, I kind of had a rough time watching hockey because I was out when they were playing. I moved to L.A. when the Red Wings got good, won 2 cups, and then in the 2000s with that whole clutch and grab time and the left wing lock, it really bored me to tears, and I got away from it for a minute, and I came back strong probably in 2007. So that's probably the most honest. I was hardcore right through the 80s, right up till, I would say maybe right through till the Red Wings won. That year when Buffalo didn't win it, they played the Stars. Right then I started getting really busy in my career, and then I kind of just, I was...
Funny, that's around the same time the Bruins started to kind of go downhill.
Yeah. Well, I'm like everybody. Everybody tries to act like they're that, when you watch
thick
some
and
awful
thin.
thing. Yeah, but you see when your team sucks, you see who's there.
Yeah.
There's nobody there. I don't care if the
people.
Yankees stink or the Bruins stink, whoever. Nobody's there. You're not going to go if they stink. Why? I actually, like with the Celtics, I didn't watch the Celtics forever, not because I wasn't a fan. It was just so painful to look at that parquet floor and see that emblem and just see how awful they were.
Yeah.
And I grew up in the 80s and I saw Burr and all those guys, and it was just too painful to watch. I remember one time I went to a game, I'm totally switching the subject, I went to a Celtics Raptors game. I'm sitting right down in the court. I didn't know anybody on either except Paul Pierce, and I just go, that poor bastard. Look at him out there.
And you were thinking maybe there's like a bachelor party somewhere nearby.
No.
Then I can come and stumble in and watch this game with you or something.
No. I've had enough of those, but I did, for people thinking, hockey always seems really hard for people who didn't come from hockey families. You feel like you just got to start out playing it. And I only played it a few times growing up, pond hockey, but I actually took up the sport since I moved to California, like the last year. And it's been awesome, man. Really just get together with a bunch of other comics. A lot of Canadians live out in L.A.
Yeah, that's right.
They're insane. They show up, they have all this stuff, right? And then they show up, and they're flying around the ice using their feet, second pair of hands. And you're like, geez, did you play varsity? They're like, nah, I just played pond hockey.
Yeah.
It's like, really? You got all the RoboCop stuff? You got all this? So my skating's getting better, but my puck handling, I've been joking with my buddies, it's kind of like texting while driving. It's the best way. I just look down, and instead of looking up and seeing a tree, it's some big guy going to smash into me. So,
be careful with that.
No, dude, I got all the pads.
You got it.
When I first came out, all I had was the helmet, the gloves, and the skates, and I was falling. You don't think how hard the ice is.
Oh, it hurts.
And I was getting those bruises that like 3 days later showed up, and like, did I get caned? I read in the shower, and I see this. So I got all the pads now, so you can be a lot more confident now because you just feel like the boy in the bubble. We don't play full contact either.
You're like Milan Lucic now. You're like a big, thick character on the ice.
No, I'm more like Ulf Samuelsson, or like Lindy Ruff used to wear the huge pads. I'm one of those guys. No contact, shying away from the fights. One of those guys.
Which of the Bruins today do you like?
Oh, you know what? I'm pretty much loving Tim Thomas, even though he scares the hell out of me. The amount of times I've seen him make a save when he's actually facing his own goal, just really scares the hell out of me. I love Zdeno Chara. I wish he would be more physical. That's my only thing. I'm old school hockey. I just see that big guy, and I just want to see him. I like what he did up in Montreal. It's unfortunate what happened, but that was a nice hit. That's how I see it there, Montreal.
I'm sure they're going to get a lot of cards and letters now from Montreal. I know I did.
I like Lucic. I love Krejci. I love them all, and if I'm hoping that Sagan's gonna this isn't just like a hot streak he's going through.
No, I think he's the real deal.
I'm really hoping because I got to tell you, Tampa really scares the hell out of me. Even though we're up 2-1, I missed the last game because I was working. I don't know what we did to shut them down, but they just had 3 legitimate guys that you could build a team around them, and you know what scares me about them is they don't have any quitting them. Like they just keep coming. They come that game when we got up like what was it like
6-3. They scored 2 more.
And they just kept coming, and I don't know. Part of that I think is because you can have a 2-line pass again. It just breaks your neck watching the damn game now. But yeah, they're definitely a scary team, and I'm not by any means thinking that we're going to win. Although when I tweet, I just sit there and trash Tampa.
Yeah.
I trash the city, and they're getting really upset.
That's okay. That's your job.
Yeah, I don't care.
That's your job.
Some people get it that I'm just messing around, but other people are like, "We're going to boo you the next time you come here." All right, as long as you show up, buy a ticket, I don't care.
Give us the differences between the cities. I mean, Tampa's known for a few things, Boston's known for a few others.
Yeah, Tampa has a lot of gentlemen's clubs next to post offices for some unknown reasons.
They get their mail well.
Yeah, we're still big on the Revolutionary War. At least the tourists, like, I don't know, I never went on that stuff, the Freedom Trail and Old Ironsides. I don't know, Boston's a really hardcore sports fan. Tampa is definitely an upcoming sports town, but I always tease them. Anytime I see a franchise, if you have to hand out thunder sticks, or everybody wears the same T-shirt, we're having a whiteout. I mean, right there, you're trying to create some sort of tradition. So, yeah, I mean, I can't. I mean, they actually can talk trash because I don't know how long they've been in the league now. A little over 10 years.
Well, they won a cup.
Almost 20.
That's what I'm saying. They won a cup. So that's what I figured these people would tweet back to me.
Yeah.
We have
But
a cup.
they don't. What you do is all I'm doing trashing Tampa. It's just a big misdirection that they've won a cup. You know, they won a cup like what 7 years
2004,
ago.
2004,
yeah.
7 years ago. Yep.
And we haven't 39 years.
How about it? Can you win one this year?
No, you want to be great. If we do, I can retire as a sports fan. Technically, because I've seen World Series, I've seen a Super Bowl, and I've seen NBA championships.
That's right.
So I've never seen them
hoist the
cup.
cup.
I did a show in Detroit at the Royal Oak Theater, and I was so jealous of all of them. I was joking about how many cups they've won since I've been. It's like you guys in the crowd, half of you guys probably drank from the cup. They've won it so many times.
That's right.
Yeah, let's give it to Larry. Let's let him have it
It's
for a
his
while.
day with it.
Yeah.
But Boston used to be this town of, Red Sox faithful, the woe is me, bitter, they never win, 100 years.
Yeah.
You guys, the Patriots win, the Celtics win. You can't be bitter anymore. Now Boston's going to lose its identity and malcontent.
Oh, that's all that ESPN crap. They so blew that out of proportion. I moved out of Boston in 1995. I had never heard of the Curse of the Babe. Dan Shaughnessy wrote the book, and then that blew up. God bless me, made a ton of money. But when the Red Sox didn't win, we weren't going, the curse of... You know what's a great one to watch? Watch the 86 World Series against the Mets when the ball goes through Buckner's leg.
Yeah.
There's no mention of the curse. They did, and the Mets win it. That's all they say. And they don't go, and the Curse of the Babe. But then you fast forward after the book has come out, and all that stuff. I remember one time I was watching a game on ESPN. It was like, while the curse was still going, rather than just saying we were a bad franchise. It was like around 2003, and we were like up like 5 runs against the Mets in the middle of July, and they start coming back, and like Chris Berman's going like, in the Curse of the Babe. And it's like, it's a game in July, dude. It's a game in July. But we were definitely pessimistic, but everybody, anytime they show a Boston fan, they always show some guy in a dock, like tying a knot, like we're all lobster fishermen. I lived there 27 years. I never met a fisherman. Not that I'm disrespecting it. There's a hard job, mothers. There's a hard job.
Hey,
Seriously.
Where were you you brought up 86. I mean, as a Boston sports fan, I mean, that's a moment that people now can look back and laugh because they've won since then.
Yeah.
But where were you when that happened?
86, well, I went to the Celtics championship parade.
Okay.
And then we got Len Bias, and I'm like, here we go again. And then that awful thing happened.
Yeah.
That was a great summer. I saw Eddie Murphy on the Raw tour. I can go right back through this whole summer.
Okay.
And then when the Red Sox...
July 15th.
Wait.
July 15th.
When the Red Sox blew it, this is how sad a town we were. They blew the World Series, and rather than just saying, to hell with it, let's watch the Patriots, they actually, some Boston fans remember this, they had Red Sox Appreciation Day. We were just appreciating that we came that close, and me and a bunch of my friends went down there, got hammered, and I remember walking into some sort of building, and for some reason it was funny to me to push the numbers with my nose on the elevator when I was drunk, and like, I don't know if you've noticed, the emergency one sticks out.
Yeah.
And those ones are all flush, so my giant flat screen TV forehead hit the alarm. And then I remember we gave Bill Buckner a big round of applause, though. I do remember that. That was before. I think we were just still all stunned.
Well, here's hoping for your sake that you'll have a Bruins memory so you can erase that one. We thank you for coming in.
Oh, no, I'm fine. Like, all those Super Bowls and stuff, I am fine. I just want to see him win. As long as the Canadians don't win, I'm actually that's my victory.
Oh, okay, right. So you're at Carolina
I just like
tonight,
getting
tomorrow?
them going.
Tonight, tomorrow.
Yes, I'm 2 shows tonight, 2 shows Saturday, and 2 on Sunday. All we got left is 10:30 on Sunday. That's the only one.
Oh wow. Okay, so double headers for you.
Yes,
Thank you for
running
coming
my
in.
mouth,
Nice to
running
meet
my
you.
mouth all weekend.
All right, making a living, baby.
All right, God bless
All right,
everybody.
thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.
All right, much.